This is what I was looking for. This is Kwasi's homework that is submitted. This is correct, right? This is exactly what I'm looking for. So if you guys want to take Kwasi's homework, Kwasi, you can share your homework to the whole group. This is correct. Perfectly correct. North America has this amount of regions, right? But one is missing, right? The government cloud, which you don't need to worry about, right? AWS, government cloud. They'll never tell you where it is because it's secret, right? It's a secret thing. You don't need to know where it is, but government cloud exists somewhere in the West Coast, somewhere around California, right? So USS one is the name that you use in your code in your Terraform, right? However, you're going to use it with small letters like this. Then it's in North Virginia. This is the airport code IAD. So if you work at AWS, this is what they call it. They call it IAD, right? They call it IAD because that's the airport code for Washington dollars. In US East is in Columbus, Ohio. So it's Columbus Airport. That's the airport code for Columbus. In US West 1, North California, in San Francisco, that's San Francisco. And then in US West 2 is in Oregon, which is a city. Sorry, Oregon is a state, right? Oregon is a state. So that's PDX. It's in Portland, Oregon. Then you have Canada, which I believe somewhere is in Toronto or Montreal, one of those places. Then you have the government cloud. Then in South America, you will have one region, South America, East, um, uh, across here, it's supposed to be SA East dash one. You forgot to put that, right? It's SA East dash one. It's Sao Paulo in Brazil. That's the airport code. In Europe, you have US West. Let me reduce this back a little bit. In Europe, you have US West 1. It's Ireland. The airport code is in Dublin, so it's in the city of Dublin in Ireland. Then the EU West 2 is in London. This is the airport code in London Heathrow. EU West 3 is in Paris. This is Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. EU North 1 is in Stockholm, Sweden. This is the airport code for Stockholm in Sweden. EU Central 1 is Frankfurt in Germany. This is the airport code for Frankfurt, Germany airport. And then Middle East, you have Bahrain. So it's APAC. Um, the code here is AP. Oh, sorry, it's ME dash East dash one. I know you couldn't find it, Barry. Middle East one, Bahrain in the Middle East, and then Africa, Cape Town here it's SA East, SA South, sorry. No, it's AF South, sorry, AF dash South dash one. It's in Cape Town, and it's the airport code for the airport in Cape Town. Then here you have AP Southeast 1, Singapore. AP Southeast 2 is Sydney in Australia. AP Northeast 1 is Tokyo. AP Northeast 2 is Seoul, South Korea. AP South 1 is Mumbai in India. This is what do they call this place in India? Bombay in India. Then you have AP East 1 in Hong Kong. This is in Hong Kong in Japan. Hong Kong is in Japan, correct? I think so. Then you have China. It has a separate infrastructure. You have CN Nord 1 in Beijing. I think it's I forgot the name of this place. Peking Sham, something. It's Peking something, Piezhong in China. Some of those names. Then you have CN one is in Ninjiang, Shanghai. This is Shanghai in China. So that's it. Imagine you work for a multinational company I don't know, some big company that worldwide that has operations all over the world. This is going to come handy, right? And important, right, for you to know. So good job, Kwasi. Um, if you want to send it to students, or I'll send it to the students for you, everybody, for you guys. Good to have this handy. Okay. So remind me, I'll send it to you guys after class or AWS regions. Just starting documents. Good job, Kwasi. And then the group work. So here, this is Terraform. You see Terraform has a lot of files that you guys created. Good job on the homework, guys. You guys did great. Provided a TF looks good. Your resource VPC look good. However, your formatting doesn't look good, right? You're supposed to have four spaces here, right? Four spaces. Your tags look good. Again, the spacing here. But when you run Terraform format, it formats everything for you, right? So again, you have this public subnet tool. This is commenting in your code. So that's great. Now, question, did you guys type it or did you guys copy and paste? Classy. Be honest.
Well, type. I told you.
You
It's
sh-
something
you, you
like
you sure?
I'm telling you.
Oh
Divo,
my goodness. That's
Divo,
very good.
imagine that is like you can spend a day for doing that.
So now you see how it feels when they pay you 150,000 for this
Exactly,
job.
exactly. It's
It's
not
not
like
easy,
I
right?
get why they pay people so.
I know, man. Yeah. I hope you guys keep typing this stuff because I'm currently working on a project myself right here. And I'm writing some stuff, and you can see my screen. This is my own personal work that I'm doing. It's not easy. I have to type everything myself. If you can see, if I can show you my camera, I have a screen here. I have a monitor here. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a full monitor that I connect using this thing, HDMI cable, and I'm looking and I'm typing. I have two screens. So that's how I learn as well. Right. I'm learning some advanced AI stuff right now. So you have to type it, man. You got to type it. There's no way around learning. If you want to know, you got to type it. Because in the interview, they'll ask you questions and you'll be like, but if you type it, it sticks in your brain. So this looks good. Your private subnet, this is a private subnet you can see here. This is set about US is 1A. Looks good. Looks good. Private subnet looks good. Elastic IP address, look good. Not gateway.
Yeah,
Nice.
for this one,
Which one?
we got an issue of a not getaway.
Not gateway.
Yeah, here on the resource AWS slash EIP domain equal VPC, not getaway. Yeah, the first resources.
Okay, you couldn't create a
No,
not
no, no,
gateway.
not this one. No, the first one. The first code. The first code. Yeah,
This
here.
one? Elastic
Yeah,
IP. This is Elastic IP address.
Elastic IP address. Yeah, because what they show in the homework is different. So when I try to do for Terraform plan,
Mhm.
it was not. They say it's obsolete, like type created. Yeah, that's the word, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, we'll do something similar. This homework, like this homework is something similar. This was created 2 days ago by this guy. So this homework is the same thing. You see, you
So
create
I have to
commands.
go. We have to go to JBD to try to find out something we can be able to work, and that's why we put this domain.
I don't know if we're gonna create a load tag not gateway here, but I think we will. You see, subnet security group, install Apache. This is a full-blown application that we don't have. You can install Apache while creating an EC2 instance with Terraform. You don't have to log into the EC2 instance. So we're going to create two subnets, two AZs. You can see here. We'll have VPC, internet gateway, public subnets, route tables, and then VPC, internet gateway. We're not probably not going to have a NAT gateway, no. But we can add an NAT gateway. I can show you how to add an NAT gateway with an EIP. Because what you're supposed to do here was because the NAT gateway depends on the EIP, right? There's something called depends on. So let me show you guys this real quick. Let me change my folder. Open a brand new. I don't want to open a brand new. Yeah, a brand new VS because I don't want to leave what I was doing there. So let me show you guys something real quick. My Terraform was what was I doing my Terraform on? Recent. What was I doing my Terraform? I was doing my Terraform was done. Uh, what document was I using for Terraform? Hmm. I just use this stuff like. Let's see. So um something like this, like AWS, uh, like something like resource, AWS underscore EIP, like that. Oh, let me just create a new file here, just real quick. I wanted to show you guys something. So like nats.cf, for example, and then resource AWS underscore EIP, and then EIP dash dev or like dev dash EIP, and then like that. And then you have the domain is, see, when I start typing domain, it's an optional string. It's optional. So you can go to the internet and look at what's required for EIP. So Terraform, EIP resource. And you just come up with that. And on, cookies. Single EIP, that's it. The instance that you want to attach it to. So if you want to attach an last EIP to an instance, that's what you would do. If you want to just create multiple IPs, then you have to create a network interface and then specify the IPs. If you just want one, then you put a domain and then a network interface. And then if you want two private elastic IPs, that's it. Allocating EIP from bring your own IPs, allocating IP from IPAM. So everything that has to do with networking and this kind of can be complex. Let's take this one. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. And I want to see what you did there. You just did domain, right? If you look at the resource block down here, when something has to be required, this is the attribute references. See, okay, VPC optional is deprecated. You see that? Quasi, you see that? Is
Yeah.
defaults to true unless the region supports EC2 Classic. So there you go. And then now you can leave it like that. It can be empty. You may not even need this network interface there at all or associated or like that. It can be empty, right? The default is true. So when you do a Terraform plan, it will show, oh, like it's deprecated. It's going to be a warning, but that's fine, right? That's completely fine. Let me do GH. Shell. So shell. Then use down. So then now the next block that you wrote was you wrote the NAT gateway allocation ID and then like this. So the allocation ID that you have is based off this NAT, right? What you can do is resource NAT gateway, and then here you have dev dash NAT gateway. There's something called depends on parameter. You can see this depends on EIP.dev-EIP. You see that?
Yes,
Dot,
but it's
dot
red.
ID. You see? Dot ID like that. It may not be in this it might not be needed here, but I'm just saying this depends on parameter is that this NAT gateway depends on this to create. If that's the issue you were facing, then this is how I resolve it. If not, then that's fine. But this VPC resources here, right? To create a NAT gateway, if you need an elastic IP address to create an, then you have to use depends on parameter like this. And then you just allocation ID, subnet ID. So then allocation ID is equal to, then you refer um, to that both resource, AWS EIP, EIP dot dev. So if you remove this completely, then this comes up dot dev dash EIP dot ID. Enter, and then subnet ID, what subnet you want it to belong to. But you can also check to see if what are the required parameters, right? Like come here and check for NAT gateway. Always go to the documentation that is, then you read it. That's what I'm saying, reading is important. AWS NAT gateway should be down here under resources for network resources. NAT gateway, there it is. You can see the public NAT gateway, you have allocation, which is the Elastic IP, and then the subnet ID, and then you can see what's required. You want to put everything that's required. It's all optional, 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 optional. So this is required. So the only thing required is subnet ID. That's it. That's all that's required here. It's just subnet ID. So you don't even need this at all. You just need your subnet ID. And your subnet ID, you can put whenever I created your subnet. So if your subnet was created in a different file, let's say in a different file here, um, you can go ahead and put AWS underscore subnet dot the name of the resource. Let me look for something here. Um, let me take an example subnet here if I have one. Don't have one. I do have one. Should have one. Tables, brands. So it would be like, let me go back to it. It would be like if your resource name here in the subnet resource was dev dash pop sub, right? Then it would be dot ID, which is subnet ID, like that. That's why it would be. like that. And then that's it, you're good. So now, and then if you really want this not gateway to create business IP, then you add depends on here. And then you put that, and that's it. You save your code, that's it, you're good. So now if you run this NAT gateway will create in this subnet, but because NAT gateway is running a public subnet, obviously. So you have to attach a NAT gateway to a public subnet, right? We know that NAT gateways is what we use to go out to the internet to get downloads and update our private EC2 instances, right? So you need an elastic IP address, which is a fixed static IP address that can go out there and get stuff and bring back to us. So you saying that, oh, this language should create based on this depends on parameter that you're adding here, makes this, if this elastic IP creates first, it's going to create first before this guy creates. This is how you organize the order of things. For example, if you want to, if you say VPC, um, AWS, it's called VPC, needs to create, and then you want to dev-VPC to create, right? And then you have your side block, which is required, and you have a 10, it's a string, right? So 10.0.0.0/16, right? So if you're going to create a subnet resource, you want to create a public subnet, you're going to create AWS underscore subnet, and then you call it dev dash pub sub. And you want this subnet to create inside this VPC, you will do depends on equal to VPC dash dev. So this VPC will create first before this subnet creates. I don't think you guys did that in the homework. I think in the homework they're just attaching things together. I think so. There's no depends on here, you can see. All right. They're just creating it directly like that and manually hard coding the values. But in production on the job, you'll have to use depends on parameter a lot. So take note of that. Okay. We'll do more practice on it again. I want to just show you guys that the depends on is very powerful. Like this subnet will not create until this VPC creates, and the subnet will create only in this VPC. That's how you tie things together. Any questions there? Is that clear what I explained about the depends on?
Oh yeah, I think so. I don't have questions so far.
Okay. Any other questions, guys, before we move on to the main thing? Any other questions?
Yeah, we have question. We provided five. In the homework, they put they add another line profile
There you go. Good question. So where is the homework? Let
is
me,
at the beginning.
right, where is it?
Yeah, you see, if they put profile, they no, they put profile. So when I add the name of my AWS authentication, it didn't pick it. So I have to when I remove the
The
name, I
homework, right?
remove this line. Yeah, it didn't work. When I remove it,
This is the homework. Hold on, let me look at it. Where is it?
yeah, you
Profile.
see,
There
yeah,
you
we
go.
put yes, we put
Profile is
VS2
just a
too.
way to name your file. Let me show you something. In here, I can have a profile like this. Provider. I'm happy you brought that up. Thank you for that. Provider, AWS, and region. uh, US dash east one profile. And then I can give it a name like VS code 01. This is to, um, how can I explain it? Not to mix up your deployments. You can have multiple deployments. Classy. You want to deploy an application in US East 1. You want to deploy an application in US East 2. So you can go here like this, boom. Provider, AWS, region, US dash East dash 2. Profile, VS code 02. So in your code now, in your resource, all you have to do is just specify profile. In your code, you specify profile, uh, VS code 02, like that, boom. And you'll know that, oh, since this profile is VS code 02, I'm going to deploy that resource in US is 2. That's it. This is what you use in multi-region deployments. I don't know why they use it here, but that for some reason. Um, but that's why you do that. Does that explain it?
Okay, because at the beginning I was not understanding why you didn't work. So
Yeah.
you need just to
You don't
remove
have to.
this
Yeah.
line.
He's
When you
just
remove this line,
yeah,
it works.
he's just naming his deployment, profile or VS code because maybe he has a different deployment in an EC2 instance. You can run Terraform in an EC2 instance as well. So this particular one is just the VS code profile. I have my EC2 profile. I have my John box profile, different profiles. So it's very, very simple. If you go to
Okay.
provider, provider.tf, for example, let's go look at it. Provider.tf, example, AWS example. You can look at the examples, see. Always go to the Bible, right? This is the Bible, guys. Always go to the documentation if you're not sure about something, right? You can see here, provider AWS, actually got resource, configure this, create VPC, this. You can see the various attributes for provider. Look at that profile. Other settings related to authorization can be configured to that profile. Click on profile, and you tell you AWS profile, config file, share credentials file. You see that? You can read about it. You can read about it, learn. There's a lot of stuff to read, right? If you look at that, provider AWS assume role. This is the role. I have a session name. This for this session. You can have a specific session where you have only these particular things, and then you're done. You assume a session in your VS code, you use it, and then you're done with it, right? So there's very, very many different options you can run Terraform in. In your interview, they ask you, how would you run multiple deployments? You use profiles. You use profiles, right? And then another one is aliases as well. Um, Terraform aliases. Example of aliases in Terraform. Version. Yes. For example, Terraform like with different regions. If you wanna call different regions, you can use aliases. So AWS.US is one for US is one region, and then AWS.EU is one for EU is one region. So this is another way you can call aliases. So you have provider, alias, this, region, this, provider, alias, this. These are different options you can use. So they ask you in an interview, how can you do multi-region deployments? You say you can either use profiles or you can use aliases. Here, this is what you do here. Obviously, this has to go back here. All right, remove that, enter, alias that, region that, right? So, and then and then that, like that. This would be your block. If you decide to go with aliases, if you highlight here, alias for using the same provider with different configurations for different resources. Example, EUS1. Then here, boom. So in this case, you're trying to deploy to two regions. It's similar to profiles. It's very, very similar. But this only comes in those kind of jobs that are senior jobs, right? I'm going to be honest with you. Having to use, because now in your deployment, right, this is what you call the alias. You can give it a different name, obviously. You don't have to give it this specific name. You can give it like, you can say Debo, and then you can get this alias here and say Quasi. So in your code, in your actual code, in your resource block now, you can just come here, and here you can just say alias. Oh, sorry, provider, and then you give it that alias name. See, AWS.debo. You see that? And then I'm deploying that gateway in AWS.debo. I'm using the debo provider, which is going to deploy in US is one. Sorry, where is it? US is one, because that's the alias. AWS.debo is going to deploy in US is one. Now, if I want to deploy in EUS one, I'm going to just say, if I want to deploy this VPC in EUS one, I'm going to come here and say provider AWS.quasi. That's how you do multi-region deployments. That's one way. The other way is using profiles. There's two ways. Okay? Does that help, guys? In the interview, they're gonna ask you this: how do you deploy to multiple regions? How do you deploy to multiple accounts? Is the more tougher one. If you have 10 accounts and you need to deploy to multiple accounts, how do you do that? You're gonna have to create multiple aliases, right? For this provider, you tie it to a different account, because in this provider, you can come here and you can add your access key in here. You can also add so you can have your access key in here, and you can have your secret access key in here as well. And then you come here. So that's for Debo accounts. And then here, you come here, access key for Quasi accounts. And you come here, you have access key, secret key for Quasi account. And then that's one account, two account, three accounts, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in your provider.tfr. And now in your code, all you do is refer to their provider name, the alias name. This is an alias name. That's it. It's easy, right? Yes. Quasi is like, wow, this thing is fun and complicated. I know, man. I know. Okay, cool. Isabel, are you catching on?
Yes, okay.
Okay, cool. All right, let me don't save all this stuff. Let's go to our main thing of the day. So that's the homework you guys did. Good job. Practice makes perfect. I would say keep practicing Terraform. Honestly, this may be your main job every day. I think there's to pay 150K or 200K for Terraform users. Jobs are starting to pick up. Economy is picking up again. Companies are starting to hire, right? Things are looking good. Um, so I just need to finish up your resumes and give you guys, and then um, you're good to go. So you did auto scaling here, but I want us to learn auto scaling, right? Here in this assignment, you did put in the AMR ID manually. So you went and copy the AMR ID and put it in here. There's a way in which you don't have to do this manually. There's a way in which you can just write the code here, and it will go to your account on your behalf and grab the latest AMR ID here, like this, latest AMR version, latest. Grab the latest AMR ID and bring in your code and use it for you, right? You have for a load balancer. All this configuration was done. Looks good. So you did it, but we haven't learned it. right? Let's go learn what the load balancer really is and how you use it, how it works. Okay, so good job, guys. Good job. Then you have the error here. I like to see errors, right? I like to see errors. Doesn't seem like it was a big error. It was just your subnet configuration, right? That's all it was. What else was I gonna say? Yeah. Uh, um, Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back, please. So let's go ahead and talk about EC2 proper. I know we know what EC2 is. I think we've gone through this, if I'm not mistaken. Have we gone through this EC2 notes or no? What is an AMI? Have we gone through this stuff? Did we?
No, no, I don't remember with you.
Okay, let's know what EC2 is. Let's do that then. Start from the beginning. So AWS compute services, you have EC2, which is Elastic Compute Cloud. You have container services, which is Docker containers. You have Lightsail, Elastic Beanstalk, Lambda, and Batch. So the Elastic Compute Cloud EC2 from Amazon provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud. Compute is simply memory and CPU. That's what compute is, which is intended to make web scaling computing easy for developers, right? Users here, you can use EC2, which is to create an instance. You can use Amazon ECS, Elastic Container Services, which is the Docker containers, which can serve as is in the back end are running EC2 instances. You also have Elastic Beanstalk, which is a managed service by AWS. When I say managed service, it means AWS manages it for you. You just deploy your code on here. You don't do anything. Now you have AWS Lambda, which is a function service. It's a what all you have to do is run functions here, and I'll talk about what about a function is when we get there, right? So don't worry about this. In the back end, they're all running EC2 instances, but Amazon uses EC2 instances behind the scenes, but they're presenting to you these fancy services like EC2 is you just create it, use it, but behind the scenes they're running EC2 instances. So the first one is Docker, Amazon ECS is Amazon ECS Container Service. It's a highly scalable, highly performant container management service that supports Docker containers and allows you to easily run applications on managed cluster of Amazon EC2 instances. A cluster, take note of this word called cluster. A cluster is when you have two or more machines or two or more servers. When you have one server like this, it's an instance. When you have two like this, it's called a cluster. A cluster is two or more servers. One is not a cluster, two or more is a cluster. Okay. So a cluster of Amazon EC2 instances is two clusters. So these two clusters are running Docker containers on top of them. That's all it is. Companies that don't use EC2 instance may use ECS to run their applications. Okay, because it's lighter. You don't have to do too much installations like you do with EC2 instance. Everything in the Docker containers comes pre-packaged. Then you have Elastic Beanstalk. It's a service in which it's used for deploying web applications. It's mostly used by developers who don't know how to use EC2 instances or operating systems. So they just write their code and deploy it. And Amazon creates the load balancer, the VPC, the NAT gateways, the public subnet. Amazon deploys everything behind the scenes. All they do is upload their code and the application is launched. So this is a service, this is like a self-service for non-technical engineers. It's called Elastic Beanstalk. It's not very popular anymore because it's very expensive service and customers don't want to pay for it. So Amazon, I don't know if Amazon has discontinued it, but it's not very popular anymore. But if you're a developer that knows how to write Java or Python, you don't know how to use Amazon at all, you just go to Elastic Beanstalk, upload your code and click deploy. Amazon creates everything for you behind the scenes. It's a very powerful service. So you have Amazon Lambda. Lambda lets you run code without using any servers. So this is a function service. So you pay for the compute that time that you use. So you have a code that runs only when an event occurs. For example, the tollway on the road that we use, the tollway is uses this kind of a service, right? The tollway doesn't uh what's the word? The tollway doesn't run unless the tollway doesn't do anything unless a car passes by. So when a car passes, it takes a picture, and when it takes that picture, it has to process that picture, your license plate, and then it charges you. So that's a perfect application used for a Lambda function. A Lambda function only runs when an event occurs. So in this case, it takes a picture, uploads that picture into S3. So once S3 detects that a new image has been uploaded, it now runs that image through the motor vehicle department for your license plate, then they're able to charge you for the toll. So that process occurs every time a car passes. Fume, fume, fume. So we can say that in a day, in a Dallas North tollway, a specific toll can have about 2 million invocations. Invocations mean that when you call the function to run the function, means the function needs to scan the license plate, connects to the DMV, collect your address and everything, charge you for the toll, and then goes away. It only takes about 2, 3 minutes. It runs the function and it's done. So every time a car passes, it's calling the function, right? The picture is taken, uploaded to the system. The system connects the picture with the car and the name, driver, everything, charges you, and then it's done. When it charges you, the idea goes to your account, or you're going to send you a mail to the mailbox and you pay for your toll. That's it. It's a very, very light. You only pay for the time in which it runs, for the execution time, which can be like 10 seconds or 20 seconds. So it's very, very cheap, right? So that's what Lambda functions are. You have the data sources where the images go through or the event occurs, and then when the file is uploaded, Lambda now takes that image and processes it to multiple Lambda functions, and that's pretty much it is done. Very, very easy service. So after all that, you have load balancing. It's a networking service. Take note, guys. Load balancing is a networking service. Although it falls under EC2, load balancing is a networking service. Although it falls under EC2, load balancing is a networking service. Load balancing is a networking service. Load balancing is a networking service. Okay. What was I gonna say? It helps you spread traffic, right, across multiple EC2 instances. Um, right. Load balancer is a networking service that automatically spreads out incoming application traffic across several EC2 instances. So this is a load balancer, and when traffic comes in from the internet, it will send it to this instance, this instance, right? So that they all have enough work to process those requests faster. If you send it all to one instance, the one instance may not be able to process the request. Let's say you want to create a bank account and you go submit your application, create a bank account to one server. If everyone is sending the application, create a bank account on that one server, you'll be waiting. You'll be spinning and spinning, you'll be waiting, right? So we have multiple servers for Bank of America, for example. And if people want to create a bank account, the request to create a bank account, they'll put their information and click submit, like request submit application for a bank account. And the load balancer will send it to multiple servers. so that it will process it faster and return back to them. That is the power of a load balancer. That's what I wanted to really teach today. It's a load balancer thing. Then Lightsail service, don't use that service anymore. We don't use batch at all. And then we have EC2. So web server that provides secure, resizable compute. EC2 is resizable, right? You can always change the size of an EC2 from T2 micro to L2 large, right? So we can see that. And then that's pretty much it. All this is just jargons. Then AMI. We've been using AMIs forever, but we don't know what AMIs are. AMIs provide the information required to launch an instance. The AMI is the actual server, is the actual image. You specify an AMI when you launch an instance. And you can launch as many instances from the AMI as you need. You can also launch instances from as many different AMIs as you need, right? So, so an AMI is an Amazon machine image. It's like an image. Like for example, when we were made in the image of God, we were made in the likeness and image of God. So God took an image and then made us. So all of us that were made came out the same, although I look different than Kwasi, but you get the point, right? So an AMI is an image that Amazon has provided us to use that image to create EC2 instances. We can create the same instances over and over using the same image. And Amazon updates this image every 7 days or every month. It depends on if the image has an issue, an error, they'll update the image. But that image is there in your accounts in that region. Every region has its own image. Take note, every region has its own AMI image. If you're going to deploy EC2 instances in US East 1, the image that is there is that image ID, AMI, this dash, that's the number. If you go to a different region, it has its own image because in a different physical location. North Virginia, a different from Columbus, different from San Francisco. They're completely different physical locations. So this Amazon image is a special type of virtual appliance that is used to create a virtual machine within the Amazon EC2 service. It serves as the basic unit of deployment for services delivered using EC2. The AMI image has the settings, the manufacturer settings for creating EC2. It's a required thing to create EC2. Without AMI, you cannot create EC2. It's like saying without your birth certificate, you cannot get a passport. Let me put it that way. You can get an ID. AMI is a virtual instance that includes a template for the root volume for the instance. So when you create an EC2 instance, that root volume is the configuration is in the AMI. The permissions to control AMI launch instances is in the AMI image, and the block device mapping that specifies which volumes will be attached to the EC2 instance. That's what the AMI is made up of. Okay? You don't have to know much about it. You just have to know that AMI is required when you want to create EC2 instances. You have to know that each region has its own AMI image. They're not the same, right? If you go to US, it's one, it's different from the US, is two. That's all you have to know. Okay. And then there are two types of root devices for your EC2 instances. You have Instance Store, which has been deprecated, it's no longer used. Then you have Amazon EBS volumes. We only use EBS volumes now going forward. So your EC2 instance have Amazon EBS volumes. EBS stands for Elastic Block Store. Everything on Amazon is elastic. Elastic Block Storage. That's what EBS stands for. Elastic Block Storage. Any questions there before I move on? So that's Amazon block is Amazon ABS. The root device or instance is an Amazon ABS volume created from the Amazon ABS snapshot. So that's it pretty much. It's the volumes. So yeah, when you create your EC2 instance, the storage behind it is Amazon ABS. That's all you need to know. You need to know all this stuff. You see, when you go and create an EC2 instance, you have to select an AMI. You have an AMI for Amazon Linux, right? That's the AMI image there. You have an AMI for Red Hat. That's an AMI image there. That's the ID. You have an Amazon, you have an AMI image for SUSE Linux, for Ubuntu. You have your own AMI. Then you have Microsoft own AMI. So each operating system has its own AMI image. Let me go to AWS and log into my account. Any questions so far, guys? Please ask me if you have any question. Don't be shy. We are doing just fine, guys. We are doing very, very well. I'm very, very impressed with the progress we've made so far. What is this thing? 8. Oh, I'm gonna disable this authenticator thing, man. One of these guys is gonna block my account. Oh, come on, man. This happened again. I hate security, but I want to be secure. There we go. I'm using this extension called dark mode. I'm using an extension on my Firefox browser. It's called dark mode. That's why you see it's dark like this. If you want to, you can just, it's called dark mode for Firefox. It looks cool. I don't know. If you guys don't like it, you want me to go back to light mode. If it's hurting your eyes, let me know. I'll change it back to light mode. It's very easy. Like that. Is dark mode better? I don't know. So, okay. I like the dark mode. It doesn't hurt my eyes, right? Dark mode is good, right?
Both are okay for me. Anyone go.
Cool. So EC2 instance, I want to show you guys the various AMIs because this is gonna be something that you're gonna do on the job, right? It's very slow. Oh, I have an instance running in yours, this one. Oh, hell no. I need to delete this. Oh my goodness. They're charging me. Terminate. You see, even I forget to terminate instance, delete that instances. Oh, I hope nobody used my keys to create this. Anyway, so if you launch instance, you see that there are various AMIs there. You see, Amazon, Linux, Mac OS. I never used this Mac OS before. I don't trust it. I just, Amazon likes to create things just to be in the news, to be relevant. Amazon wants to be number one, but it doesn't really work. Let me be honest with you guys, right? I've been in this field for a long time. Amazon will deploy something that is brand new. Oh, you want Amazon, but when you go try to use it, it doesn't work because they want their stock to go up and all these things because of the hype. But if you go want to use it, it doesn't work. I'm telling you because of many things that are deployed. That when you want to start using it, it doesn't work. Even on the job, you will experience that. So when you speak in an interview, be confident in saying that, oh, if it's brand new, we don't use it immediately. We give it some time to make sure that it's stable before we use it. The interview like, oh, okay, yes, yeah, you're right. We know, it because Amazon's release new stuff and it's failing all the time. It takes about 5, 6, 7 months after it's been released for it to be stable. So this Mac OS, I have never really tried it. Ubuntu is stable. You have the AMI image there. Microsoft Windows is stable. Red Hat is stable. This SUSE Linux is not stable at all, right? And then this Debian and SUSE is not stable. So those are the AMIs that are available. You can also create your own custom AMI and save it here. And we'll learn how to create AMIs shortly. And then recently launched AMIs will appear here. So that's pretty much about AMIs. Very, very easy, straightforward. Amazon Linux supported and maintained Linux image by AWS. That's what Amazon Linux is. Amazon Linux is Amazon's own Linux. that they created, and they manage and maintain it. Okay. Marketplace is an online store where you can buy software that runs on AWS from third-party vendors. So marketplace is like Amazon.com, where you go and you buy things. If you have an Amazon account, you can go to marketplace and buy things. Let's say you want to buy a software that Amazon doesn't have. You're going to go and browse AMIs, and you're going to go to AWS Marketplace. You want to buy something that Amazon doesn't have. You want to buy, let's say you want to buy some VPN solution, like OpenVPN. You want to buy OpenVPN, you come to the marketplace and select it. Boom, that's it. You subscribe to it. So they'll be charging you this amount of money per hour, and then you deploy it and you create this OpenVPN on an EC2 instance, and then they'll be charging you this every hour, and then they'll send you an email to accept their license. They'll send you an email to accept their this is right here, end user license agreement. When you sign this document and electronically, it means they've accepted that you'll be paying that money every month. They'll give the license number and all that stuff, and you're officially a customer. So Amazon is a third party that helps other customers sell their products. You can come in, you can search for things like, I don't know, maybe, is there TikTok here? I don't know if there's TikTok here. Okay, no, there's no TikTok. If you want to host some application, something that you want to host, you want to, some music thing or network or custom stuff, right? Custom units, Visual Studio Enterprise, so some custom stuff that is not available, Toshiba, Learn and Development Plan, whatever that is not available out there, that Amazon has, you can buy from here. Okay. Things like Data IQ, for example. Let me search this right here. Data IQ Trial Sandbox. It says data science solution. So you can go select that, and you see it's 1 cent per hour. You can deploy it on Amazon Machine Image. And you have to sign their licensing agreements first and read it. And then when you launch the instance, you subscribe to it, you pay monthly. So that's what this is. Right? You see, they have machine learning solutions, this is intelligence, and they have a product video. This is the product details, pricing. You can see they'll deploy on M5 X large. That's what they recommend that you deploy it on, right? That's the recommended server, M5 X large. And these are the various instance types. And then if you wanted the ABS volume, it's going to be 10 cents of gigabyte. This money goes to Amazon. Why this money per hour goes to Data IQ, the company. Okay, it goes to them. It goes to this company. Their data science studio development environment, that's what goes to them. Okay, so that's what marketplace is. So when they're asking the interview, how do you run software that Amazon doesn't have? You would say you use the AWS marketplace to find it, or the community. Community is open source. Community is public. Community is free. Community, you don't pay for it, right? You just go find free stuff. But be careful with community stuff, because you can write something in the community that can give you a virus or something, because it's open source. Most companies don't even run open source software, because open source software is free, it's not supported, it's not maintained. So, you may don't want to bring that up, right? Because enterprises that make money and take business very seriously don't want to run something that is free, right? Free gets you in trouble. So, but that's what the marketplace is. Alert Logic is something that is very important that most companies use. Alert Logic is a security scanning tool. It's a log manager for AWS. So when companies run their applications on AWS, they want to scan all the requests that come into AWS. They want to scan it, right? Amazon has tools that can scan requests that come in, but most companies don't trust those Amazon services that scan requests. They want to have their own custom server that's scan request. So they're going to run alert logic. So they're going to come here and buy alert logic. Where is it? Alert logic. Did I remove it? Alert logic. Security. Alert logic, it should be under here. Maybe they don't have it here anymore. Maybe they removed it. Let's look at security. Security. Well, it's no longer there. Maybe Amazon bought them, right? Because that's what Amazon, you see Splunk. You see, if you don't want to buy Splunk, because buying Splunk Cloud can be very expensive. If you want to try out Splunk for like 3 months within your company and see if you guys like it before you go buy the main Splunk Cloud, you can come here and deploy Splunk in Marketplace and try it out. Please, Kwasi, Isabel, Tolu, do not deploy anything Marketplace unless you have approval from your manager or the company. Because once you hit subscribe, they will start charging you monthly. Please, 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 please do not launch anything from the Marketplace without approval. But during the meetings, when you guys are discussing the meetings, when you're discussing the meetings, like, hey, we'd like to try out Splunk, you can say, hey, guys, we don't have to try out Splunk by buying the full Splunk Cloud. We can try out the Splunk Enterprise in Marketplace. In AWS Marketplace, it's about 0.085 cents per hour. It's like, oh, wow, Isabel knows a lot about this stuff. Isabel, can you deploy it? Yeah, I can deploy it in Marketplace and then we can try it out for about 2, 3 months. And if we like it, we're going to buy it. Oh, okay, Isabel, I'm going to send that tax to you. You go ahead and try out Splunk Enterprise from the Marketplace, deploy it on EC2 instance, and then set it up. Let's see how it works. If we like it, we'll buy the full implementation from splunkcloud.com. That's just a trial. If you like it, then you come now and you buy now the real Splunk Cloud here, which is here is millions of dollars. It's going to cost them about $100,000 a month for this implementation of Splunk, the real thing, right? But that was just a small trial that can only going to cost about, I don't know, $700 a month, right? Because it's this per hour and running for 3 months is maybe going to be like $2,100 a month because you're trying it out. You're going to run it on one EC2 instance, right? And then, you run it on C5 large instance, and then you choose this instance type and all this stuff. So you run it here, you're paying $5 per hour and how many hours per day, right? And then your volumes, that's how much it costs. And that's pretty much it. So this is how you try out software before you go out and buy it. Any questions there? I'm giving you guys what you say in your meetings, how you speak in meetings, how you contribute value to the company. Okay, don't just be quiet in meetings. Try and be confident and speak, but speak to the right things. Community AMIs resource where people and development teams can list and exchange software products under development. This is just collaboration. You can create an AMI and you put it here under community AMIs. My AMIs is when you customize your own AMI. So let's say you create an EC2 instance, right? And you have installed Apache and you installed everything on it, and you install so many things on that AMI, and you want to share that AMI with other people. You can create an AMI image and store it here. You can come and store it here. You see here, I have some AMIs here. See, I created a Jenkins CI/CD7 and stored it here. I created a monitoring server and I stored it in this AMI. So I can take this AMI now and actions, and I think I can or share. Or share. I share it. I think I can share it somehow. I can put it under community AMIs and then Kwasi can go take it and deploy it. You see, but it's private, that's why I cannot share it because I can't change it to public. Then then if I can edit the permissions to public, then I can share it. So change it to public. Well, it's not letting me change it right now. But that's how AMIs work, right? You can create your AMI, you see everything about it, when it was created, dates and everything like that. You see 2000 and May 2024 is the creation date for the AMI. So that's what AMIs pretty much are about. So you can take a standard AMI, customize it, create, install Apache, install things in it, you create a custom AMI, and then you use that custom AMI. Most in the job, you'll be using the custom AMI. You will not be using the default AMI. You're gonna take the main AMI, you're gonna customize it, and you're gonna create your own AMI image. So this is the steps. Using an existing AMI, you're gonna launch an instance. You're gonna customize that instance by installing customized things on that instance. They're gonna create a new AMI from it. And finally, using that new AMI, launch an instance from it. This is the process of this is called an AMI image pipeline. It's called a pipeline. So you see here, you take a normal AMI that Amazon provides to you. You launch an instance with it. So now you have your instance. Now you install things on that instance. Maybe it's a Java application or something like that. You customize it. And then from there, you create a new image. Now you have image number 2 here. And now, since you're on the company now, you say, hey guys, I've created a Java application AMI image. Now you now share that AMI to the whole company, and then now they'll now use that AMI image to launch an instance, number 2. So this will be a Java development instance. And that's how it works on the job. Any questions? It's easy, right? Straightforward. Yes? Ask me questions, guys. Ask me. So I can know you guys are understanding this stuff. Any questions? Okay. So AMI can be kept private, it can be made public, or it can be shared with specific AWS accounts, as we have seen, as we see in my accounts, right? It can be made public. If I do edit permissions, it can be made public. I don't know why it's not letting me make it public. I need to change the settings somewhere. I need to change some settings somewhere. I need to deregister the AMI, apparently. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'll keep it private for now. So you can make it public, keep it private, or you can share with a specific AWS accounts. So I can come here and I can put Quasis's AWS account, and I can share the AMI with Quasis's account or anybody's account, right? And when you go to your own account under your EC2 instance in this region, North Virginia, if you go to AMIs, you see AMIs I will share with you. And that's that. Cool. You can also put your AMIs in the marketplace and sell it, or you can make some money from it. The registering AMIs.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This AMI you want to share, is it different from the one that come with AWS service?
Yes, it's different. You cannot share AWS, the one that comes with AWS service. You cannot, it's not yours. This AMI is not owned by you. This one that you see here is owned by AWS. You cannot touch it. You only can use it to create instances. You cannot share it. So let me go back again to that topic I just explained. Guys, ask me questions. This AMI is the one that Amazon gives you. that comes in your account. You use it to create an EC2 instance. Once you launch an EC2 instance, you have your EC2 instance number one here. Now, you go ahead and install things. Yum install this, Yum install that, and customize that instance. And then from that instance, you create another AMI image and you call it quasi AMI image, monitoring server AMI image, whatever you want. It's a brand new customized image. From this image, you can now share it to people now. This is where you can make public, you can make private, you can connect, share with Quasi's account. This AMI image, the customizable one. And then you can now use it to create another customized EC2 instance. Is that clear now?
Yeah, I get it now.
Okay. Okay, cool.
So that means everything you install in this AMI, when you share that with another person, the person will get the same all the different file you installed already.
Yes, the person will
Okay,
get all the software, everything you have in your AMI, the person will get it when you share the AMI.
okay, it's making sense. Okay.
This is how we share software within the company. Isabel doesn't have to recreate the same thing. If you create a Java customized AMI image, you just share that with Isabel. Isabel will launch that AMI and she has a Java customized instance. You don't have to make people do the same work over and over. You don't have to recreate the wheel. They say don't reinvent the wheel, right? The wheel is the wheel of the car. Okay? Tolu, are you here or you're watching TV? Tolu doesn't look like he's here. He's not
I'm
interacting.
here.
Oh, you're very quiet today, man. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
When you're done with the AMI, you don't want to use it anymore, you can deregister it. It's the same way for delete. I'm sorry. They have these big words. Deregister. It's the same as delete. An AMI can be deregistered. When you want to register an AMI, it means you want to put it public or set it in the cloud. So you have to register it. Register means, I'm registering my AMI. If you don't want it, after your work is done, you deregister it. Once it's deregistered, you cannot launch new instances anymore. That's pretty much what an AMI is. That's all. So you deregister the AMI and then delete the snapshot, and that's it. Done. Very easy. Tags. Tag instances to allow easy identification and management of your resources. So you have to know tags. So when you're tagging stuff, you want to keep the key and the value. The key is like owner, Isabel, environment, test, owner, Tolu, environment, production. So you want to have the key value pair, key and value, key and value. That's how you tag your stuff. That's how you tag stuff. That's it. Okay? Very, very easy. Yeah? EC2 instance types, you have T. General purpose instances start with a T. Very low cost for small, medium applications. You have the M class, M3, M4 is for application servers. Then you have the compute optimized. These ones have high CPU. You have the C3 and C4 classes that have a high CPU. They're used for databases, application servers that require high CPU. Then you have the R class. R stands for RAM. R3, R4, and X1. They have high memory. It's instance types. They're used for high memory applications. So when you guys are discussing on the job, you have a meeting called capacity planning meeting. When you are discussing your instances that you want to use, you hear the developers, you ask the developer, hey, developer, what is the application that you're developing? Is it high memory intensive or is it CPU intensive? You say, oh no, the application is very memory intensive. You say, okay, if the application is memory intensive, we're gonna go with an R class, an R4 class type of instance. The new ones are nowadays is R5 even. We're gonna go to an R5 instance. You're like, oh, why? So no, because the R5 instances are memory intensive instance types. Yeah, okay, okay, cool. So you, the SRE, you, Kwasi, you, Tolu, you, Isabel, you guys decide the instance types. You guys make that decision. Whatever bill comes to the company, $15,000 a month, is because you choose the instance type. But you have to be justified with the developer. Ask the developer how much memory or how much CPU do you think the application needs to run per day or per hour. They will tell you. Then you say, okay, let's go to R4 instance type because we think that in memory intensive. If the application is used by the business, it creates revenue for the business, then let's put it behind an R4 class type of memory, you know? So you make that decision for the company. GPUs is used to train machine learning and artificial intelligence models like the ChatGPT models. They use GPUs, so they run the G class type of instances, P2 and F1. Then storage, things that use high storage density or high storage optimization is I2 classes and D2, right? Data warehouses, databases use I2 and D2. Then you have EBS optimized instances. Okay, and that's that with EC2. What type of instance will you choose if you require high disk throughput? High disk throughput. We just saw it now. We just saw it. What type of instance would you use if you require high disk throughput?
Option B.
Just saw it. Come on, guys. Are you guys here? Hello. Storage optimized. Storage optimized. High disk throughput. We have I2, you have D2. So what kind of instance will you use if you need high disk throughput? Tolu, are you here?
Yes.
You're not here, man. What type of instance will you choose if you require high disk throughput?
D2.
Mm.
Yes, that's correct. Dense storage instances are designed to deliver high disk throughput. Dense storage instances are designed to deliver high disk throughput. This is the pricing for SSD instances. We're not going to go through that. Placement groups, we're not going to go through that. Best practice for EC2, you can read about that. And quiz. When you deregister an AMI, which of the following is true? When you deregister an AMI, which of the following is true?
I think so. Option D.
Huh?
Option D. D. Only the MI is deleted.
That's correct. Only the AMI deleted because deregister means delete. Come on, guys. Deregister means delete. Which EC2 family is suitable for CPU intensive applications? CPU intensive applications.
I don't know if it's a mistake, but the first time you say R4, but I saw C4. But okay, I'm gonna take option C or option B.
Option what?
Option B.
Yes, it's correct. C is for CPU, R is for memory.
Oh, okay. Because the first time you say R4 or something.
Are you guys here? Do you want to take a break, guys? I don't know. Look at some people are not here. I know that there's too much cherry. People are falling asleep. Want to take a break, or are we tired? Or should we end class now? I don't, because I just went through it now. We just went through. Am I too fast, guys? Talk to me. Am I too fast? We just went through this stuff, right? I said compute optimized. Tolu, Isabel, are you guys there? See, C,
Yes, sir.
yeah, C3 and C4 is CPU intensive. I know I'm talking, maybe my teaching is making you guys fall asleep, or I don't know. You want to take a break? Let's take a break. On the job, on the job, when you're making decisions of what type of instance to use, you need to know what is memory intensive. You need to know what is CPU intensive. You need to know what is storage intensive. This is for you to discuss in meetings because don't go to a meeting and then just be quiet. You know what I mean? Like they're like, why is Isabel so quiet? Isabel, are you there? Can you contribute? Can you say something about what instance should we use? Then you come up and say, hey guys, if the application is CPU intensive, then I think we should go with C4 because C4 instances are optimized for CPU intensive applications. What do you guys think? That's just my 2 cents. That's my opinion. You give your opinion, you sit you quiet. At least you're part of the team. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it is. For example, oh guys, if we're gonna have many, many requests, maybe we should use a load balancer. That's what I think we should do. You know, how many users are we looking to serve? Those kind of questions you ask before you answer. In IT, don't just say things without asking questions, right? Ask some questions that will help you make the right decision. You know the stuff. You know how to deploy in Terraform. But before you even become deploying Terraform, you guys have a meeting. You have sprint planning meetings. You have stand-up meetings. So ask questions and then you give your opinion. Okay, she's not just saying anything. She asked a question first before she gave her opinion. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. Okay. Cool. What else? So was that a quiz? What is the quiz? All this stuff is not important. Um, stated which EC2 family is suitable for CPU intensive applications? C4, right? Which EC2 family is suitable for memory intensive applications?
R3.
There you go. Demonstrate how to create an account, launch and connect to EC2 instance, launch and connect to Windows EC2 instance. Do we know how to connect to Windows EC2 instances? Have we done that, all of us? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes, I think we did that. We did that.
Okay. Launch, create an AMI and launch a new instance from it. So let's do
We
that.
just connected into it, but we do not really do any exercise.
Yeah, you're not gonna really do nothing on Windows, right? Like Windows is not very popular like that. It's nothing. So that's it with that. We're done with that. So let's do the exercise of launching an AMI and then we're gonna create an AMI. So everyone log into EC2 instances. Let's create an EC2 instance, and then we're gonna create a customized AMI from that instance. Okay, let's do that. So I'm gonna launch an instance. I'm gonna launch Amazon Linux. So launch an EC2 instance, guys. Launch Amazon Linux instance. Just do a default one. Don't T2 micro. Just do a default EC2 instance. I'm gonna just launch my own, and then you guys will just catch up. So like HTTPS, HTTP traffic, all that stuff, and just launch. And it's gonna launch. We're gonna install some stuff on it, and I'm gonna try to create an AMI, and then that's it. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's see if it's done launching. Refresh. Um, I'm gonna just call this AMI dash server. It's initializing. Let's give it some time. I'm gonna pause recording. So we're gonna connect to the EC2 instance now. Boom. So now let me go back to that particular node so that we can reference it and show you what we've done so far. So far, we have connected. We took a default AMI that Amazon provided to us. Um, we we took a default AMI that Amazon provided to us. We create an EC2 instance. We launch an EC2 instance from it. We launch an instance from that default AMI, and then now we have our EC2 instance. This is our instance that we have. That's it. Okay. Now we're gonna install things on this EC2 instance. We're gonna go and install yum install. Let's do a sudo yum update first. Sudo yum update. Nothing to do there. So now we're gonna do sudo yum install MySQL git wget. Just install software at random. Right? Terraform, Docker, um, uh, Python, um, Postgres. Just installing stuff. Dash Y. Okay. Let me remove MySQL. It said it already installed MySQL. MySQL. And then it already has wget. No match for Terraform and Postgres. Okay. No match for Postgres. So I'm just installing things, just to create software on here. So do a sudo yum install HTTPD, which is Apache, and also Nginx -y. Okay, it's done. And then let me see sudo yum install Kubernetes. Let's see if it's there. No. Yum install PHP. Yes. Really install um Ansible. Yes. And then now we'll create an AMI image from this EC2 instance and go deploy a new instance from it. And we'll see all these things that I've installed. We'll see it in the new EC2 instance. Yes, that's the exercise. Okay. So now I want to clear my screen and I want to create a file called sudo vi index.html. And I want to just say like, hello, this is the first instance. I'm going to save this file. Take note of what was just typed, right? Escape, EQ. So ls-ltr, the file is there. It's called index.html, okay? So if you do AWS version, you have it. If you do AWS, if you do Ansible version, you have Ansible. If you do little sudo yum install, let's install Java. Sudo yum install Java. So we're installing all these libraries and dependencies, right? So um, now that you have that, if you do Java version, it's there, right? Open JDK. So we're good. So now we can go now to EC2, and from here we can select this and click on actions, and under image and templates, create image. And now you're going to give this image name. You can call it Debo. I can call it Debo customized -AMI. And it's going to reboot the instance. Once the Amazon Institute reboots the instance so that data is at rest when snapshots of the attached volumes are taken. This ensures data consistency. If you don't want to reboot the instance, you're going to uncheck this box, but it's not going to be able to capture the root volume because it's like you're trying to check the engine oil of the car when the car is running. If you stop the car and the car cools down, then you can get an accurate reading. So if we check this box, it will restart the instance and take the AMI image. And we want to tag AMI image and snapshots together. And then we're going to click on create image. So it's going to go ahead and create an image from my existing EC2 instance with all the software installed and everything on it. That's my new AMI ID right there. So if I go to AMIs, I'll see it is still creating. Where is it? Where is it? Right here. Debo custom AMI. Status is pending, it's still creating. February 3rd, 2025 at 8:47, right here. See? That's a GP3 still creating. That's the AMI. That's the source AMI that was used to create it. This is Amazon's AMI image ID, whereas this is my own image ID, 19F. So I'll go and create a new instance from my AMI and I'll have all the software installed on there, already installed. So once this becomes available, then we can go create it. So now I can go now. When this becomes available, it means it's done. I can go now here and terminate this instance. So you see, my instance is rebooting. It rebooted. You see, it was gone for a little bit. It came back now. So let me check if the AMI is available now. It's still pending, still creating. Once it becomes available, then I can go now and terminate this instance and then deploy a new instance from that a customized AMI. And that's it. Let's check again. See if it's available. Still pending. Okay. It takes a while to create an AMI. Are you guys creating an AMI as well, like me, or?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Unless the AMI becomes available, you do not terminate your EC2 instance. Okay. I think it's still creating. Let's be patient. Let's give it. I'll pause recording. Let's give it some time. So the AMI is done creating. So now we can go now and terminate our EC2 instances. So we can go and terminate this instance. Terminate. It's shutting down. So now, as that's shutting down, there's two ways you can use your custom A. You can see I have 0 EC2 instance here. There's two ways you can use your custom AMI to create a new instance. You can go to launch instance, as you normally do. And then once you're trying to launch the instance, in the selection page, you can click on browse more AMIs and then my AMIs. And then you see here Debo custom AMI. This is the one I just created today, right? Debo custom AMI. Is it custom or customer? Let me go back and check something. Did I type customer or custom? I may have typed customer. Psh, I've had a long day. I may have typed customer. I typed customer, guys. Yeah, I typed customer. Yeah, I did type customer. Okay, so you can come here and click on launch. You check this box and click launch instance from AMI, and it will bring you here. Or you can always browse more AMIs and select the AMI image. And then now you can say customized, custom development dash server. And that's it. You see Debo dash customer dash AMI. That's my AMI image that I'm using. T2 micro, key pair, right? And then HTTPS, everything else. And then you launch the instance. And that's it. You have launched a new instance now. So what you did was took a basic AMI, a base AMI image, launched an instance, installed many dependencies and libraries in that instance, created an image from it called Debo Customer AMI, And now you took that AMI and you launch a brand new instance called custom developer server. This is called an EC2 AMI image pipeline. This is a pipeline. Every 7 days, you're supposed to do this. Back in the day, in 2017, every 7 days, we'll run this process to keep updating our AMI. But nowadays, there's tools out there that you don't have to do this anymore, right? There's some tool called Packer uh, images by HashiCorp. Packer image builder by HashiCorp that does this automatically for you, right? So HashiCorp is the company that owns Terraform, okay? HashiCorp owns Terraform, Packer, Nomad, Waypoint, Vagrant, Vault, Console, Boundary, all these things, services. On the job, you might see Vault. It's used to manage secrets, so all your secret access keys is installed in Vault. Vagrant is a developer environment. Terraform is what we do. Packer is for building machine images. And then consoles or network services. Some companies use all HashiCorp products. Some companies use only one. Most companies use only Terraform, right? And then also I'll teach you guys Terraform Cloud as well. What we've been doing all this while is Terraform CLI. So running Terraform from the command line interface or running Terraform locally. I'm going to teach you guys Terraform Cloud. You're going to create your Terraform Cloud account. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's a free. Now you don't pay for it. So this is pretty much Packer images. You see the Packer, and then you do this, and then you, similar to how you have Terraform, you want to build a Docker image, you just run this and you build the image. So you don't have to do this manual stuff like this every 7 days. Some companies use it, some companies don't use it. It just depends on that. But all these things by Packer, Terraform is all easy because once you know Terraform, then you know Packer, right? Because the code is the same structure, right? Packer inits, Terraform inits, Packer formats, right? It's the same thing. Packer build, right? Packer apply is the same thing. So once you know Terraform, you can know almost all of these services that HashiCorp offers because they use the same coding language, which is JSON, right? So that's that. So now I've launched our EC2 instance, we can go look into it and we can see that we have everything that we did install. And the little file I created called index.html, that little file is still there. And that's that. We're done. Wednesday, we'll begin load balancing and auto scaling. Man, tired, man. So ls-ltr. Hold on. Sorry. AWS. No, we didn't install Java. So Java -- version. That's it. We did install Ansible -- version. That's it. So the volume here, the volume, whatever you create, there's a sudo. Whatever you create in this volume, like a file, is not going to be part of the AMI. The AMI image only keeps the software that you install. If you want to have the files, then you have to create a snapshot, not an AMI image. You have to take a snapshot of the EBS volumes right here. This EBS volume, this dev-svda, you have to take a snapshot of this volume. So you come here, you take a snapshot of this volume, and then you restore that snapshot to the new image. That's what you do. Okay? So only the software goes along with the next image. Okay? And that's it. Any questions so far? So we're done with AMI.
Yeah, I have a question. When you do AMI with AMI, you customize it. Once you connect to a server, is it give you access automatically to the root server or to the root user.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does automatically because you own it, right? You own that image, right?
You
So
okay, so you
because you own
okay.
it, because you own it,
Okay.
so you're the root. Yeah, you own it. That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
You still have to use sudo, right?
I still have to use sudo.
Yes. I just switched to root user now. I just switched to root user. I didn't have to. I can run exit and I'm back to EC2. Sorry. What did I just do? I just exited. You don't have to use sudo su. You can keep using EC because okay, I see what you're saying. Once you create an AMI image and you use that image to launch an instance, you become the root user by default. So you see root here. Guys, what causes access is important because as soon as login, we not see EC2 that user any here anymore, right? Because it's not Amazon's AMI, it's our AMI. So we are the root user now. Does that make sense? Kwasi, yes?
Yes, yes, it's making sense for me. Yeah.
Because we own the AMI. It's our AMI. This is our AMI that we created. So we are the root user here. So you're not going to see EC2 dash user here. No. You're going to see roots. So you are the root user now by default. And that's it. Okay? All right, guys.
Yeah. No.
So practice Terraform. Keep practicing. We'll continue on Wednesday with load balancing. This notes here. But finish this EC2. We're gonna go over these notes, load balancing on yeah, we're gonna go to load balancing on Wednesday. Maybe we'll talk about ABS as well, but load balancing is the main thing. Once we're done load balancing, we'll do more Terraform practices, we'll do Git, we'll do Docker, and then we'll go and apply the jobs. That's it. We're not gonna do Kubernetes. I don't think we should do Kubernetes. But we'll do some Python and some scripting at the end. So plan to finish around end of February, early March. We're done. So another 4 more weeks, okay? Another 4 more weeks, guys.
Okay. I have another question.
Yeah.
We need to delete the EC2 first before to delete the AMI, right? You to
Yes.
deregister, yeah.
Yes. 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 That's correct. Go ahead and terminate your EC2 instance as such. Terminate the EC2 instance. You terminate it, and then you go terminate the AMI or deregister the AMI right here. Deregister AMI. And you warn you once deregister, you cannot use it anymore. Deregister AMI. And that's it. It's disappear. However, you don't get charged for AMIs, right? You don't charge you for AMIs. They only charge you for EC2 instances. So as you can see, I have Kubernetes Worker, I have Jenkins AMIs running here. So they don't charge me for it, but they'll charge you for EC2 instances running. So okay. All right. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday.